DC fans. So a couple of days ago, Warner Brothers came out and said that this coming Tuesday, we were going to get some information or some insight into the Justice League movie that's coming out next November. And boy, did we get a lot of information. So, wow, I had to process all the information, gather it all up, and just, basically I'll deliver it in this format. So, what happened? Well, we got an official logo. I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping for a set picture, of all the Justice League members that are going to be in the movie, in uniform, together, because, they're already, 30 days into filming, but nothing. No shot. But we got a nice logo, and it's fine. It doesn't really get me hyped up or anything. It doesn't that's a good-looking logo. It's just a logo. But what is interesting to note is that the Justice League movie will be just that. Just one movie. There's a lot of speculation going around that it was going to be a two-parter. Kind of like Avengers Infinity War is going to be part 1, part 2. But it's going to be a self-contained story. It's just going to be one, which I find really interesting, but also a very good move. A lot of information came out in this that was surprising, but good to hear. So, we got the logo, we got an official synopsis, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, so hold on. All the information that's coming out is because there was various organizations and press that was allowed to visit the set and visit the filming for a day for Justice League, and kind of the embargo for that information was lifted on Tuesday, so all this information was able to be public. And those press were invited there primarily because of the, how do we put this delicately, critical bashing that Batman v Superman got. So word out of that set visit is that the people on set paid very much close attention to the negative feedback that Batman v Superman got and put that into Justice League of, okay, there was some criticism that Batman v Superman was too dark, so they're trying to lighten it up and make it more fun and entertaining and put more jokes in it. Without going into too much detail, if you want more details, you can look on your own. It's all over the place. But apparently, the Flash and Cyborg will have a lot of the humorous duties, but everyone will kind of jump in on the humor aspect, but those two will carry a lot of the jokes, which I don't know how I feel about that. As long as Batman really isn't humorous, I'm okay with that. I don't really want Batman telling jokes, just because that's kind of Batman's character. If he's there for a deadpan type of humor, that could work, but I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about Batman telling too many jokes. However, what I do find interesting is when they said that they're listening to fan backlash and criticisms, it's Zack Snyder coming at this, and he kind of said it in a backhanded way. When he was addressing the fact that people didn't like Batman v Superman, he said, I guess people don't like having their heroes deconstructed, which I guess he tries to insult the audience for not liking his movie. I took that as kind of petty, we didn't like your movie. It's okay, just do a better one. You don't have to come up with a reason why we didn't like it, we're stupid or something. And besides, we wouldn't hate a deconstructed hero if you just understood the hero's material, but that's neither here nor there. I think there's more people keeping Zack Snyder in check, which seemed to be also the vibe that was going around of it was more collaborative, of there seems to be a lot of people involved, which could not be a good thing in the long term of too many cooks in the kitchen type of thing, but we'll see. It seemed like the overall atmosphere was more joyous from all the reports that came out, of people were happier, there was more energy, it was more fun, which is the Marvel keyword that gets thrown around a lot of, why is it DC fun? Which also, the word coming out of it is, yes, they're okay, we screwed up a little bit by making Batman v Superman really dark. That's the darkest the franchise going forward will be. I don't know if I like that, actually. Every other hero, yes, lighten them up. Let Superman smile. Let him be a symbol of hope, because, that's what Superman should be. But I'm okay with that darkness of Batman, because Batman needs to have some dark stories. Don't let him go around killing people anymore, But I'm okay with that level of darkness for Batman stories, not for everybody else. But they said that's the darkest the franchise will get from this point on, because they were listening to the people, which is good, which is kind of what you want the studio to do, is have them listen. And so we also got a lot of other information about characters and whatnot. So it was long rumored and confirmed that Willem Dafoe, the Green Goblin from the very first Spider-Man movie, go way, way back in your time machine, he's going to be in Justice League. And my immediate gut reaction was, okay, what bad guy is he going to be playing? Because, that face. But actually, he's playing a good guy. And now we can confirm which good guy that is. He's actually going to be playing an advisor to Jason Momoa's Aquaman from the comics, known as, let me get my notes out, Vulko. Okay. I don't know that much about Vulko, but from everything I read on the man, he seems like a loyal kind of advisor, almost like a Alfred-esque character to Aquaman, which could be fascinating. I'm just really surprised Willem Dafoe is not playing a bad guy. They came out from the get-go saying he was going to be a good guy, but come on, it's his face. I'm sorry, Dafoe. I should have believed you. Maybe he could have been a good Commissioner Gordon. Speaking of which, Gordon will be a big character in Justice League, apparently, as the reporters that were there were actually there in the midst of a film scene with Gordon and a couple other members. Again, if you want further details, look it up on your own. I won't spoil it here. But supposedly, J.K. Simmons' Gordon will be a huge character, which really excites me. I like the character of Gordon. I always wanted more of him in any version, especially Gary Oldman's version. In Dark Knight Trilogy, he was great. I think J.K. Simmons will be a great Gordon, and yes, it's been confirmed. But we all need to know. He will have that mustache, and it will be glorious. Now, without getting too much into the plot, because I don't want to spoil that here, some details about the story came out. All I'm going to say is that there were some connections to Batman v Superman that will be continued upon here. However, it wasn't anything that made the theatrical cut. It's no secret that Batman v Superman will have an R-rated extended cut when it comes on Blu-ray in a couple weeks. And one of the scenes involves the villain of the Justice League movie, and it's not who you might think. In one of the deleted scenes from Batman v Superman, that scene where Lex Luthor's kind of in the pool thing, making that horrible creature that I'm not even going to say what his real name was because it was such a disgrace to the original comic version, but I digress. He's in that pool thing, and he kind of has this vision of three boxes. And those, if you know the comics, are mother boxes. They're kind of just like teleportation boxes. And those are connected with Darkseid, the big bad of the DC Universe. So there was a lot of speculation that Darkseid would be the villain in Justice League, because it just kind of makes sense. However, that will not be the case. It will be one of Darkseid's lieutenants, Steppenwolf. No, not that Steppenwolf. It's a bizarre name, but Steppenwolf, which I find an odd pick because he's not really a name that the general population knows. I mean, they know Darkseid a little bit better, but I guess not everybody knows Darkseid either. But it's a matter of how they portray him. I guess people didn't know Ultron either before that movie came out, and, well, bad example. I wasn't impressed with Ultron. I digress. Again, but Steppenwolf could be an interesting villain. We got a glimpse of him in the Batman v Superman Extended Edition little clip. They released that shortly after the movie came out, which was an interesting move. You can look it up. Just search Steppenwolf, Batman v Superman. He's a big beast and behemoth. So I'm very curious. Obviously, they will play into Darkseid eventually, but I like that in this universe that at times has felt rushed, even to a DC fan like myself, that they're taking time getting to the final step that is Darkseid. He's like the end-all, be-all. So I'm glad that they kind of have like a stepping stone to get to Darkseid first, while still having some connections to Darkseid with Steppenwolf and the mother boxes. Well, that's it for Justice League news, and just to close it out really quick, we also did get an update on the Ben Affleck standalone Batman movie that he will be co-writing with DC executive Jeff Johns. Yes! Which, here's hoping it's an Under the Red Hood movie. Ben Affleck himself has actually said that it probably will not start production or be released at the time that we all kind of hope it is, because he says the script is not at a point that he really is comfortable releasing it or starting it at this point. They haven't even started yet. They're still working on the script. And he says he's not really comfortable starting the movie until he feels it's the best possible story it can be, which I'm totally okay with that. Like, I'd much rather have a good Batman movie that's not rushed and has actually had the detail really paid attention to in it, and has something that just was cranked out just to make the money. So good on you, Affleck. I'm okay with waiting, so long as you, 1, give us a good movie, and 2, include Nightwing. Neither of those are negotiable. Those are my terms. So, what did you guys think about all this Justice League news? I know there's some stuff that I missed, but let me know. Comment below your thoughts on all this Justice League news and what you think I probably should have talked about. I love hearing your feedback. Well, if you'd like to see and want to see more, subscribe to the channel or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at 17 Movie Reviews. Stay sharp, comic book fans!